The following is transcribed directly from the documents found in the abandoned German test lab by an American soldiers defending and during the aftermath of World War II, roughly translated into English. Testing is to begin tomorrow. The team does not know what to expect. Our mission is to take to new research and turn it into a weapon for the war front. It recently has been discovered that the brain releases a previously unknown chemical when the feeling for fear. For obvious reasons, the test could be extremely dangerous. 2 test subjects have been selected, and from what we were told, they were sentenced to death, but are only going to be instead used as objects or subjects in this experiment. Subjects are given to the table with 2 chairs, a cot with a mattress, a stocked bookcase, a notebook and pen, and a bathroom area consists of a toilet, sink, and a mirror. Food and water are given through a small seal-able opening. I have nothing more to report at this time. Written in document. Test subject A and B are being given the chemical in the small dose. Mixed with water, test subject A has consumed the water and has shown no visible changes in mood or behavior. Test subject B has refused to drink the water. He has been forcefully given the same dosage, but out of direct injection. He gave some resistance, but he was easily controlled and injected. Shortly afterwards, he seemed nervous and almost paranoid. It jumped whenever he heard sudden noises. Subjects have been told to try and remain active or asleep, just not out. Written in document. It took me some time, but we developed a new gas-based version of the chemical. If shown effective on the subjects, this could be a valuable weapon. Dosage had been increased slightly. Neither of the subjects were aware that the chemical was being let into a room. After a few minutes, subject A stopped reading and began to look around the room cautiously. After an estimated hour, he began to read again. Subject B immediately responded. He opened the notebook for the first time and wrote, "What is going on? Stop whispering to me. I do not want to hear you," on a piece of paper, ripped it out of the notebook, and slipped it under the door. No reply was given. Written. We are going to now observe the effects of long-term low amounts of the gas subject A, and we are going to observe the effects of the short high amount periods of gas on subject B. The results are shocking to say the least. Subject A progressively became more unstable, stopped reading. He would not eat or avoid the mirror at all costs. He suddenly became very aggressive and threw a heavy book at the mirror with a surprising force, shattering it. Subject B's reaction was more curious. He began staring at the second chair, but he was not looking at the chair. He was looking as if he was making eye contact with someone sitting in the chair. Something seems amiss, but we are definitely getting results. The Führer will be most pleased. The voice sounded distressed. We did not want to hear this. What do we do to deserve God's vengeance such as this? Subject B escaped from the cell in the chair and was thrown across the room, straight into a viewing glass, instantly shattering it. It was 5 inches thick, reinforced. He didn't even touch the chair. He has escaped out of that hole made by the EMPA. Help me! Please, rip! The loud vents are leaking gas into the rest of the facility. The power has gone offline, and he has killed all the Oh my god. Oh no, 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 please! The one final note was found, and it was hastily written and barely legible. They are dead. Every one of them are dead. I hear them in the walls. I hear them whispering to me. Yes, yes, come and take me away. I want no more of the... And the note ends there. The rest was too soaked in red to read. In April 23rd, 1944, Allied soldiers had found an abandoned German laboratory with only its doors sealed shut, using explosive charges. They forcefully entered the laboratory, wondering what was so important about that Germans had to lock it away. They have found 13 bodies, 12 of which was matching the lab coats on. mangled into pieces, and one in one piece, ripped straight in half. The 13th body had no script, brown clothing, and no head. A larger scale investigation was launched by near the Germans as to determine what happened, but it was canceled after many German soldiers absolutely refused to return to the laboratory, even if threatened with their lives. To this day, nobody knows what happened to B, but he is presumed to be dead. Well, I guess that was The Fear Hormone, a creepypasta. My final thoughts on this story? Well, this story was written by none other than wait a sec. I can't seem to find out who the author of this story is, so yeah. I am definitely going to be, leaving this as anonymous for now until I find out who the original author of the story is. So, I've seen this story written by many, read by many people. Like, a lot of YouTubers have read this story. So, I remember Lady White Rabbit actually read this story, and this story was honestly pretty good. Especially with the whole concept and everything. It's honestly a pretty good creepypasta. It does have like an interesting idea of, a lab being... I think this is kind of like a little bit of an inspiration of, what was it? Oh yeah, the Sleeping Russian experiment. That one was pretty good. But I definitely gotta say, this story was definitely something. It was pretty interesting for what this story, what... Basically, the soldiers go into the lab and they ended up seeing that there was some freaky shit that happened. And everything described in it was like, holy hell. This honestly was a pretty well-made story, especially with the whole concept of it being all interesting and, really weird. But with all due honesty, it honestly still is pretty good. I really still find this story to be, enjoyable. Like, I like the concepts and the good grammar and all of it. It was pretty well made. I still find this story to be, a really enjoyable one. It did have its ups and downs, but despite that, I honestly found it to be, quite good. Like, yeah, the storyline of this, it kind of reminds me of the Sleeping Russian experiment story. I think I was getting, like, those kind of vibes while I was, sitting there and reading it. It honestly kind of reminded me of the Sleeping Russian experiment a little bit. I don't know what it is, but something about it honestly made me kind of feel that it looked exactly like that. That's pretty something, if I'm being honest. Like, I've never actually have seen that, if I'm being brutally honest. So, I'm going to be completely fair. It's a really interesting story. It's definitely a pretty well made one. It does have a good concept. I really like that it kind of actually reminds me of the Sleeping Russian experiment. I still find it enjoyable and all that, and it does have like a good concept and everything. Wow, this one honestly makes it pretty good. So, I guess with that being the case and with that being said, I'm going to sit here and just say this is just simply my own personal opinion. And if you happen to disagree with me, that's perfectly fine too. Yeah, I don't know who the original author is of this story because I'm still trying to find out. But if you guys know, about, who the author is, yeah, let me know in the comments below and I'll be sure to give the author proper credit. So I guess with that being the case and with that being said, yeah, this is just simply my own personal opinion. You happen to disagree with me, that's perfectly fine too. We're all entitled to our own opinions in regards to these creepypastas. This is just simply my own personal thoughts. So I'm going to give this story at least I'm going to give this one a 10 out of 10. It's a really interesting story. It's Definitely well made. There's definitely a lot of time and effort into it. And I personally think it's pretty interesting. And it seems to be a pretty great story, if I'm being honest. So, I guess with that being the case and with that being said, yeah, it's pretty good. I like it, and I recommend you guys give it a go if you haven't. I mean, you guys can read this story. It's on the regular Creepypasta wiki. But for those who know who the author of the story is, feel free to leave me in the comments below, and I'll be sure to give the author proper credit, as I can't seem to find out who the author is. But I definitely gotta say, if you're looking for a good creepypasta, I recommend you read this one. It does have, it's really interesting. I mean, it reminds me of the Sleeping Russian experiment for some reason. I don't know why. I was getting those vibes. But like I said, what did you guys personally think? Do you enjoy it? Did you not? Also, what we have done personally helped make this story a lot better. Feel free to leave me what your thoughts are down in the comments below. I'm the Queen of Lions. Thank you so much for watching today's episode. And if you're new to this channel, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Ring the bell for notifications to when I upload. And as always, please roll the outro because I'm out.